In the heart of Barcelona stands a building that seems to grow from the ground itself. A symphony of stone spires reaching for the sky like a mystical forest. This is the Basilica de la Sagrada Familia, a masterpiece that has been under construction for over 140 years. It's the grand, unfinished vision of one man, the architect Antoni Gaudí. Today, we delve into the incredible story of this architectural marvel, a tale of faith, genius, turmoil, and a relentless quest to build a Bible in stone. The story doesn't start with Gaudí, but with a devout bookseller, Josep Maria Boccabella. After a trip to the Vatican in 1872, he dreamt of a church in Barcelona dedicated to the Holy Family. His association bought a plot of land, and in 1882, the first stone was laid. The original architect, Francisco de Paula del Villar, planned a standard neo-Gothic church. But a year later, disagreements over costs led to his resignation. This single event changed everything. A relatively unknown, 31-year-old architect was appointed to take over. His name was Antoni Gaudí. Gaudí didn't just take over the project. He completely reimagined it. He saw the Sagrada Família not as a mere building, but as a sermon in stone. His philosophy was simple yet revolutionary. The great book, always open, and which we should make an effort to read, is that of nature. He rejected the rigid straight lines of Gothic architecture for the flowing, organic forms he found in the natural world. He envisioned a church that felt like a forest, a structure that breathed with life. Gaudí dedicated the next 43 years of his life to this singular project, eventually moving into his workshop on site. He famously said of the slow progress, "My client is not in a hurry," believing he was working on a divine timeline. Gaudí designed the basilica to tell the story of Christianity through three magnificent facades, each representing a key moment in the life of Jesus. First is the Nativity facade, the only one largely completed in Gaudí's lifetime. Facing the rising sun, it's a joyous, almost chaotic celebration of Jesus' birth. It's teeming with sculptures of people, plants, and animals. The facade is split into three doorways, representing faith, hope, and charity. Look closely at the columns, and you'll find a tortoise and a turtle at their bases, one for the land, one for the sea, timeless symbols of stability. Gaudí started with this facade because he knew its beautiful, positive imagery would inspire people and attract donations to continue the work. In stark contrast is the Passion facade. Facing the setting sun, it depicts the suffering and crucifixion of Christ. Where the Nativity is ornate and full of life, the Passion is austere, skeletal, and carved with harsh, straight lines. It was designed to evoke a sense of solemnity and reflect on the sins of man. Construction only began in 1954, following Gaudí's surviving instructions. The controversial, gaunt figures are the work of sculptor Josep Maria Subirachs, who faced criticism for his modern style, but he argued it was necessary to create a dramatic break from the rest of the building, just as Gaudí intended. The final and largest entrance will be the Glory facade. Construction began in 2002, and it represents the path to God, depicting death, final judgment, and glory. Gaudí knew he would never see it built, so he left a general model. This facade will feature the 7 deadly sins at its base and the 7 heavenly virtues above, with doors inscribed with the Lord's Prayer. Gaudí's plan calls for 18 towering spires, 12 for the apostles, 4 taller ones for the evangelists, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, an even taller one for the Virgin Mary, and the central tallest spire representing Jesus Christ. Once the Jesus spire is complete, the Sagrada Familia will become the tallest church in the world. Yet in his reverence for nature, Gaudí designed it to be just slightly shorter than Barcelona's Montjuic Hill, believing the work of man should never surpass the work of God. But perhaps Gaudí's true genius is most apparent once you step inside. The interior is breathtaking. It's like walking into a colossal, sun-dappled forest. He designed the columns to look like trees, which branch out near the ceiling to support the roof. This wasn't just for aesthetics, it was a feat of engineering. This design distributes weight so perfectly that it eliminated the need for the external supports, the flying buttresses, that define traditional Gothic cathedrals. This allowed for a more open, light-filled space. Gaudí was a master of using geometric shapes found in nature. He rarely drew detailed plans, preferring to create complex 3D models with strings and weights to calculate the perfect, weight-bearing curves, like the catenary arch. The construction journey has been anything but smooth. For decades, it relied solely on private donations, meaning work progressed in fits and starts. But the greatest disaster struck in 1936 during the Spanish Civil War. Anarchists set fire to the crypt and stormed Gaudí's workshop, shattering his precious plaster models and burning his plans and drawings. For a moment, it seemed Gaudí's vision was lost forever, but a small group of his collaborators embarked on a monumental task. They painstakingly collected every fragment of the broken models, and over 16 years, they pieced them back together like a giant 3D puzzle, using old photographs and notes to resurrect the master's intent. It's thanks to their dedication that construction could resume in the 1950s. In recent decades, the pace has accelerated dramatically, thanks to tourism revenue and modern technology. Computer-aided design and 3D printing now allow architects to model Gaudí's incredibly complex shapes with precision. But this has sparked controversy. Some critics argue that the work of his successors is a betrayal of his spirit, a banalization of his genius. They claim that without the original plans, it's impossible to be truly faithful to Gaudí. The biggest controversy now surrounds the glory facade. To complete Gaudí's plan for a grand staircase and entrance plaza would require demolishing several city blocks, displacing around 1,000 families and businesses. Residents are fighting the plan, arguing the grand staircase was never part of Gaudí's core design. The final decision rests with the city, leaving a major part of the vision hanging in the balance. For any visitor, the most magical part of the Sagrada Familia is the light. Gaudí considered light a core architectural element. He designed the stained glass windows to create a symphony of color that transforms the interior throughout the day. In the morning, windows on the nativity side filter cool blues and greens like a forest at dawn. As the sun moves across the sky, the light shifts. In the afternoon, the windows of the Passion facade on the west glow with fiery reds and oranges, evoking the sunset. This incredible, ever-changing play of light and color creates an atmosphere of spiritual wonder, captivating everyone who steps inside, regardless of their faith. The main structure of the Sagrada Familia is scheduled for completion in 2026, 100 years after Antoni Gaudí's death. While decorative work may continue for another decade, this milestone will mark the culmination of 144 years of tireless effort. The Sagrada Familia is more than just a church. It is a living story of a singular vision, a testament to human creativity, resilience, and devotion. It has been shaped by the hands of a genius, shattered by war, pieced back together by his disciples, and carried forward by generations of artisans and architects. When it is finally complete, it will stand not as a relic of the past, but as a timeless symbol of Barcelona and a profound message written in stone, finally ready to be read in its entirety.